So what do
Yeah,
you think people need to know most about communication?
yeah. So I think probably, of course, that is the first thing. The second thing is you have to be aware that we're all different, right? So we're actually all the same from the standpoint of we are all created in the image of God, right? So from that viewpoint, we're the same. And then extending from that, the differences come in between how we look on the outside, the shape of our shapes and our sizes and our colors and our features. And, there's a lot of differences there. Then the other differences come with, how we process the external world, the filters, the lenses, the worldviews that we have, our cultures, our histories, our DNA, like all these things shape basically, make us different and make us very unique. So I think understanding that there is beauty in uniqueness is critical, because sometimes we expect and want everybody to think and behave and look like we do. And unfortunately, that's not reasonable. And so sometimes that actually blocks communication, because we're spending so much time seeing people through our own lens as opposed to trying to connect with what lens they view the world from. Trying to have a really good perspective of, how can I connect with how this person sees me and sees everything, as opposed to trying to superimpose my viewpoints, my perspectives on other people. So it's that whole seek first to understand principle. So I think if you are wanting to have effective communication with somebody else, we'll say it this way. If I went to China and I am not Kamal and I could not speak fluent Chinese, I would be at a grave disadvantage in the art of communication when it comes to words. I can communicate through body language and gestures and things, but I'd have a very, very hard time language communication if I don't speak the language. So the only way that I would be able to understand the language of Chinese, I have to study the language. The only way that I can understand how to effectively communicate with another human being is I need to study the human being first. I need to study their language, their internal way of thinking and being. And the better that I can understand the other person, I'll have a better opportunity to effectively communicate with that other person.
Mhm. That is so good, Craig. That is so good, because I think so many times, not only do we see people through the lens of how we would see them, but we see them through the lens of how we've dealt with people in the past. And we say, let's, deal with them the same way. But we say, no, this is a whole new person, a whole new, set of experiences. So that's awesome. Okay.
That's hard. It's hard, right? I mean, it's like, it's actually difficult. Communication is not easy. It requires a lot of energy and attention and, commitment. And that's why most people don't do it right. Because it takes a lot. It's just easier just to kind of like, that's Nouvelle, that's, come on, blah, 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 and just move on. It's easier to do that than to really take the time and attention and care to understand who the person really is.
Awesome.
Well said. Well said. Nouvelle, did you have any other reflection?
No, I think he hit it. He covered it, and I think it's just a matter of like he said, not only looking at it through the lens of yourself, but through their lens and understanding that person. Some people are more quiet. Some people are very communicative. And some people will get for example, even texting. Some people are quick to text back or email back or whatever. Some people are a little slower. But in any of them, just understanding who you're working with and not projecting onto people your past experiences of how others, communicated or interacted with you, and say, nope, this is a whole new person. What is it that this person needs? What is it that this, needs to happen here? But like Craig said, it requires attention and time.